about breaking that glass ceiling. So some of us are going to be on that journey. Some will have broken through, and it's wonderful to see positive role models. But for others, it is the small things that they do in life that make such a huge difference, because they're consistent and they're there for their families and those they care for, amplifying the strengths of what women do in their lives as mothers, as carers, as professionals, people who are there, to be, who become role models for us. It also gives us an opportunity to talk about the barriers that can be there for women and how difficult sometimes they can be to overcome. Women often think I'm the only one in this situation, but when you start talking to people, you find there are many more. There is something very special, I think, about hearing people talk about their successes, but more importantly, how they got there. Do you know, when I started going for leadership interviews, I would often be told, this is about fit. I couldn't really understand what the evidence base for fit is. And I recall talking to my sister, who was going through some similar experiences in the States, and she suggested I look at the work of Sylvia Hewlett. And she did a lot of work around executive presence, performance, hard work, and sponsors get top talent recognized and promoted. But leadership potential is not enough to level men and women in the executive space. And whether we like it or not, first impressions matter. So frankly, I'm a black woman. That's how I define myself. Notably, women and professionals from black and minority ethnic communities face a narrow bandwidth of acceptability than their Caucasian male counterparts. And it's only through the support of a coach that I made the link between not just thinking about fitting into an organization, but turning that on its head and thinking about whether a specific organization was the right place for me. So, I purposefully don't use the word fit. I use culture add. And when I'm recruiting, I'm thinking whoever is coming, what will they add to the organization, not whether they're going to fit in. I like recruiting for difference. And I think that's a very clear and value-based approach of the organization that I'm in currently. So women are just not making it to the top despite making gains in middle and senior management. And what keeps them under that glass ceiling is not necessarily a male conspiracy, but a lack of male and female advocacy. And so really for organizations to see how that vision is translated in reality, what does it mean? Yes, it's about policies and procedures, but it's about the culture of an organization. How do we celebrate difference? How do we make it our day job? How is it that it's part of everything we do? And actually, the business card doesn't matter. The hierarchy doesn't matter. Leaders come from all parts of the organization. And I think when organizations can see that there is strength at the front line, and that front line can lead us, I think those sort of organizations really thrive. Acknowledgement of the many, many achievements of so many wonderful women in all walks of life who are on their different and individual journeys. Aspiration and inspiration go hand in hand. So when I was a mum and a carer, both things of which I was proud of, but also trying to get an education, but also perhaps struggling through societal norms of what my role should be as a black Muslim woman in a South Asian household that was quite traditional. I needed to understand the structural elements of sexism and racism in a different way. And that we live in a patriarchal society. Why, particularly my society was a patriarchal society, let's put it this way. But what we will find is that the way discrimination operates, the stereotypes, the tokenism, the unfair, sometimes policies and procedures will operate in different ways for these groups, but they do. And the only way that we can really tackle all of this is by making sure that the culture of the organization, root and branch, is about valuing diversity and thinking of diversity as a strength for the organisation, and recruiting for difference, and really believing that.